Are you a fan of football like me and enjoy watching memorable moments? You are here at the right channel because today we're Number 1. Nigeria versus Brazil during the 1996 Olympics. Do you remember the electrifying 1996 Olympics in Atlanta? The Super Eagles were facing off against Brazil in the semi-finals. Talk about a David and Goliath match. Nigeria was trailing behind, but then came the unthinkable. An epic comeback. They won 4-3 in extra time thanks to Nwankwo Kanu's golden goal. Can you believe it? This stunning victory left the football world speechless and paved the way for Nigeria's first-ever major international triumph, the gold medal. What a moment! Do you think the Super Eagles can recreate that magic? Number 2. Nigeria versus Algeria in 1980 during the African Cup of Nations final. That's not all that it talked about as number 1. Nigeria also hosted the 1980 African Cup of Nations, and the final against Algeria was a historic moment. Can you guess what happened next? The Super Eagles dominated the match, winning 3-0. Segun Odegbami and Muda Lawal scored the goals that sealed the deal. This victory was a first for Nigeria. They won their first African Cup of Nations title. Can you imagine the excitement and pride of the Nigerian fans? It's a memory that's still cherished today. What do you think made that team so special? Number 3. Nigeria versus Argentina during the 1994 World Cup. The 1994 World Cup in the United States was Nigeria's debut on the world stage. Number 4. Nigeria versus Cameroon in the 2000 African Cup of Nations final. The 2000 African Cup of Nations final was a thriller. Nigeria faced Cameroon in a battle of giants, and the match was intense from start to finish. The score was tied 2-2 after extra time, and the tension was palpable. Although Nigeria lost 4-3 on penalties, the match remains an all-time classic. The skill, passion, and drama on display made it a game for the ages. What a showcase of African football at its best. Number 5. Nigeria versus Spain during the 1998 World Cup. Nigeria's 1998-2 in their first match, with goals from Adepoju Lawal and a fantastic strike from Olise. This win showed the world that Nigeria could compete with the best teams. It was a huge confidence booster for the Super Eagles and a proud moment for Nigerian football fans. Number 6. Nigeria versus Ivory Coast in 1994 during the African Cup of Nations semi-final. The semi-final match against Ivory Coast in the 1994 African Cup of Nations was a thrilling encounter. The match ended 2-2 after extra time, and Nigeria triumphed 4-2 on penalties. This victory propelled the Super Eagles to the final, where they defeated Zambia to claim their second African Cup of Nations title. Number 7. Nigeria versus Zambia in 1994 during the African Cup of Nations final. The 1994 African Cup of Nations final against Zambia was a poignant and emotional match. Zambia, having lost many players in a tragic plane crash the previous year, was the sentimental favorite. However, Nigeria emerged victorious with a 2-1 win, thanks to goals from Emmanuel Amuneke. This triumph marked Nigeria's second African Cup of Nations title and remains a significant moment in their football history. Number 8. Nigeria versus Denmark during the 1998 World Cup. Although Nigeria's 1998 World Cup campaign ended in disappointment with a 4-1 loss to an impressive group stage performance, expectations were high. But Denmark proved too strong. Despite the loss, the Super Eagles' overall performance in the tournament is fondly remembered. Number 9. Nigeria versus Burkina Faso. And then came the 2013 African Cup of Nations final. Nigeria faced Burkina Faso, and the Super Eagles came out on top with a 1-0 win. Sunday MBA's goal was the difference maker. This victory was huge. It was Nigeria's third African Cup of Nations title, and it ended a 19-year drought. The team's hard work and talent paid off in South Africa, and it was a moment to cherish for Nigerian football fans. Number 10. Nigeria versus Iceland during the 2018 World Cup. The 2018 World Cup in Russia was a thrilling ride for Nigerians. See you soon in the next video. Goodbye.